So on the state level, typically it has 6 versions. It's basically categorized into 3 sections: fire, flood, and earthquake. Let's talk about the flood hazard area first. There's special flood, and then there's dam inundation. Special flood is simply the data that comes from FEMA. Dam inundation is basically any home that is near a dam. So it advises you, if you are nearby a dam and there's a breach of the dam, there can potentially damage your home. The next level of risk is the fire. There is very high fire and wildland fire. Very high fire is typically homes that are in hills, and wildland fires are homes that are in the forested areas like Big Bear and Arrowhead, etc. Their third one is earthquake fault zone. That's any home that sits on or within half a mile of an existing fault. You're considered in an earthquake fault zone. Seismic hazard, there are 2 sections to it: landslide and liquefaction. Landslide are the homes that are at risk of a landslide, of an earthquake. Any home that's on a hillside and can be damaged from loose soil or from a house sliding off the foundation and damaging another home is on the hillside. Liquefaction is basically an area where the soil is more moist. An example, if you go to the beach and wiggle your toes, the soil is moist and has similar characteristics. This comes with the territory and you can't really do much about it. This is considered a liquefaction zone.
So just to slow down a little bit in that regard, these different 6 different reports, that's just pulled from California, or how does that process look like from behind the scenes, or the context of that?
Yeah, it's just from California. The NHDs are only required in the state of California. They don't require an NHD report in any other state besides California.
I'd like to add on something on that as well. So each of these hazard zones, the data itself comes from a public entity. For example, the flood comes from FEMA, the fire-related data comes from the California conservation maps, and on each NHD report, the zones are more described in detail, and it typically provides the source where the data comes from.
So I love it how it's all in one report, so we don't have to go to all these different sources to understand where these homes are lied.
Absolutely. And I think, Robert, so in addition to the state level coverage, each county provides their own sets of data. They send their own geologists to collect the data, and there's public entities as well for each counties that obtain this data and provide it to the NHD companies like ours, which then appears on the reports. So Robert is going to cover the next slide, which is going to talk about the county level determinations.